In the headlines, Nigerians celebrate Eid amid calls for peace, unity, and national development. Uproar as NSCDC officials allegedly shoot woman at Eid ground in Zamfara state. 2 fall into Lagos Lagoon after accident on 3rd Mainland Bridge. On the foreign scene, Togo bans protest against arrest of opposition activists, constitutional reform. Compliments of the season to you. Hello and welcome to the news update at this hour on Trust Television. I am Aisha Salihu. Now the news in detail. President Bola Tinubu on Wednesday urged Nigerians to continue to love Nigeria more than any other country. Tinubu made the appeal while addressing journalists after the Eid al-Fitr prayers at the Eid ground of Dodon Barracks in Lagos State. The president said the renewed hope agenda of his administration, which is aimed at bringing prosperity to Nigerians, is being diligently implemented, encouraging Muslims celebrating the conclusion of Ramadan to extend the values of sacrifice and resilience beyond the fasting period. President Tinubu emphasized the need for Nigerians to prioritize the exhibition of love for their country.
We should preserve that for the country. Be kind and be cheerful giver. Love our country better than any other country. That's the only one that we have. And we must continue to protect the integrity of our government and leadership. New Hope is alive, well and fine, and Nigerians will continue to be very hopeful. Without hope, there's no salvation. Without hope, there's no development. Without hope, there's no life.
Similarly, Nigeria's Vice President Kashim Shettima has called on Nigerians to pray for peace and development of the country. He made the call when he led the Borno State Governor, royal fathers and politicians to observe the Eid prayers marking the end of the Ramadan fast at the Ramat Square in Maiduguri. Meanwhile, Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum has assured that his government will work to alleviate the hardship occasioned by the removal of subsidy as well as the power supply crisis in the state. Governor Zulum stated this during his Salah message at the government house in Maiduguri. He urged residents to continue to intensify prayers for peace in Borno and Nigeria as well as for leaders of the country.
But apart from the gas power plant, the federal government of Nigeria as well as the Borno State are exploiting the potential for providing power through the hydroelectric source, inshallah. So government will do everything possible to ensure that there is adequate water supply in the state, while we are trying to look into the immediate medium-term solution to the power problem in the state. Government is also looking into the longer-term sustainable solutions.
We are quite excited. Mubarak, all Nigerians. Let's pray for peace, social harmony, and development of our dear nation. That's our prayer. That's our victory.
After a hiatus of 4 years, the Lamido Adamawa's Palace in Yola came alive once again as Muslim faithful from diverse districts and ethnic backgrounds gathered for the revered Durbar celebrations and to pay homage during the Salah festivities. The vibrant event, which had been suspended in 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic, was reinstated, allowing the faithful to joyously mark the end of the Eid al-Fitr in a grand manner. In attendance were State Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri and former Vice President of Nigeria, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, both of whom used the occasion to advocate for peace, considering the current state of affairs in the country. Reporting from Yola, Sharif Al-Hassan captures the spirit of the celebration.
Modibo Adama Central Mosque Yola was filled to capacity with worshippers who came from far and wide to witness the 2 rakat supererogatory prayers in commemoration of this year's Eid al-Fitr celebration. Adamawa State Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintri, alongside Nigeria's former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, Waziri Adamawa, are among the top dignitaries in attendance. In his sermon shortly after he led the 2 rakat prayers, the chief imam of Modibo Adama Central Mosque, Yola, Qadi Ahmadu Boboy, admonished Muslims to fear Allah, shun away from all sinful activities even after the period of Ramadan. Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintri, in an interview with newsmen shortly after the prayers, expressed gratitude to Almighty Allah for the successful completion of Ramadan fast and the Eid al-Fitr celebration.
We're grateful to Almighty Allah for allowing us, through His mercy, to observe one of our pillars, the 5 pillars of Islam. And with this, I congratulate all Muslims across the world, particularly Nigeria, and in particular to urge us to live a life of moderation.
Contributing, the Waziri Adamawa Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, while congratulating Muslims on the Eid al-Fitr celebration, described the hardship Nigerians are going through as most unfortunate, but expressed optimism that the country will overcome it.
Well, it's most unfortunate, but the only way we can overcome this is to work hard and also to support government policies that are designed actually to alleviate the sufferings of poor people, particularly the common man we call in Nigeria. Basically, policies that will empower the ordinary person to be self-sustaining. Are you satisfied with the policies already? Certainly, you know, I'm not.
Shortly after the prayers, there was a special traditional mini daba display and presentation of Salah gift to Lamido Adamawa, Dr. Muhammadu Barkindo Aliyu Mustafa, who is ably represented by Waziri Adamawa. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar at the Lamido's Palace in Yola, which symbolizes the rich cultural heritage of the Fombina Kingdom. This is the first time in 4 years the Palace of the Lamido Adamawa, Dr. Muhammadu Barkindo Aliyu Mustafa, will be hosting Muslim faithful from various districts and ethnic groups to join in the famous Daba celebration and paid Salah homage at the Palace of the Lamido in Yola. The colorful event, which was suspended in 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic, was revived to enable the faithful mark the end of Eid al-Fitr celebration in a grand style.
In Kano, thousands of Muslims observed the 2 rakat Eid al-Fitr prayers. Residents also voiced concerns over the high cost of living, urging the government to address the issue. Trust TV's correspondent Idris Jabrin, who was at the State Central Eid prayer ground, reported that Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf was among the thousands of Kano residents who attended the Eid prayers at Kofar Mata. The report.
Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf of Kano State, his deputy, members of the State Executive Council and other top government functionaries were received at the mosque by the Emir of Kano Amina Ado Bayero, his district heads and other traditional title holders. The 2 rakat prayers was led by the Chief Imam of Kano State, Professor Sani Zaharuddin, who called on Muslim faithfuls to use the period to pray to Almighty God for sustainable peace and stability across the country. Hundreds and thousands of Kano residents came out to observe the Eid prayers as they expressed gratitude to God for the successful conduct of Ramadan fast, while calling on government and all other relevant stakeholders to subsidize high cost of living among Nigerians. We are very happy today. We celebrate Salah. You can see the number of people that actually came out. Everyone is wearing new clothes. So we are happy. We thank Almighty Allah for showing us this very important day. We are actually very happy, and I'm particularly happy to be among the people that will see this year's Salah celebration. I am happy even though we are suffering, but we have to give thanks to Almighty Allah. But we are calling on government to subsidize the prices of goods and services so that Nigerians will continue to be happy. Traditional Hawan Sallah by the Emir and his district heads is the major highlight of this year's Eid celebration in Kano, with Governor Abba Kabir paying Sallah homage to the Emir at Kopar Kudu entrance of the palace. While delivering his Sallah message, the Emir of Kano, Amina Ado Bayero, expressed gratitude to the state government for coming up with various developmental projects for the overall good of the state. He also called on government to continue to ensure adequate security of life and property among all Kano residents and Nigerians in general. I want to express my gratitude in particular to Kano State Government for coming up with various developmental projects for the overall development of Kano people. We are also calling on government to ensure the protection of life and property of all Nigerians, regardless of where they are. We also thank our imams, our religious and other traditional leaders for all the important prayers they have been offering for the peace and stability of Kano people. As Salah festivities continues, the people of Kano are gearing up for more celebration in the next coming days. Idris Jubrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
Now to a sad development. There was pandemonium in Gusau, the Zamfara state capital, on Wednesday as personnel of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps allegedly shot and killed a woman while pursuing hoodlums. The tragic incident, which occurred while Muslim faithful gathered to observe Eid prayer, has sparked outrage and unrest among residents, leading to an escalation of tensions in the area. An eyewitness narrated that the NSCDC personnel, in their pursuit of suspected hoodlums armed with dangerous weapons, opened fire indiscriminately, resulting in the death of the woman. In response to the shooting, an angry mob gathered and set ablaze an NSCDC vehicle. Confirming the incident, the police spokesperson in Zamfara State, ASP Yazid Abubakar, said 2 NSCDC personnel linked with the shooting are currently in the custody of the police. He said the Zamfara State Police Command has started a probe into the cause of the incident. When contacted, the spokesperson for the NSCDC in Zamfara State, Iko Oche, denied the allegation that the men of the civil defense shot the victim. Rescuers have been scouring the murky waters of the Lagos Lagoon in search of the bodies of 2 bus passengers who were thrown into the water from the top of the 3rd mainland bridge on Wednesday morning. The victims were among passengers aboard an LT 18-seater bus involved in an accident on the recently repaired 3rd mainland bridge. The accident, which occurred around 11 a.m. on Wednesday, happened near the Adeniji-Adele end of the bridge, heading towards Lagos Island. It was reported that the bus driver was driving at high speed when it veered off the road and crashed into the bridge railings. Ibrahim Farinloye, the territorial coordinator of the National Emergency Management Agency in the Southwest region, confirmed the incident. And to another sad development, A road traffic accident around the Fidewo area of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway has claimed 3 lives, leaving 2 others injured. The Chief Roads Commander and Public Education Officer of the Ogun State Command of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Florence Okwe, attributed the incident to a deflated tire which caused the vehicle to crash into the bridge. She said the injured victims were taken to Victory Hospital, Ogere, while the corpses were deposited at FOS Morgue, Ipara. The command, however, advised motorists to drive within the stipulated speed limit and always go on a routine check to detect any fault in their vehicle. You're watching the news update on Trust Television, coming up shortly. UNICEF calls for strategic policy to address child poverty in northeast Nigeria. We'll bring you insights and details of this story and more after the break. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. Let's take a look at our top stories again. Nigerians celebrate Eid amid calls for peace, unity and national development. Uproar as NSCDC officers allegedly shoot woman at Eid ground in Zamfara state. And now moving on to more stories. The Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde has urged immigration authorities to fish out the alleged masterminds of brutal attack on officials of the State Transport Management Agency. Governor Makinde, while on a visit to the residence of the 2 traffic officials, assured that the state government would deploy all legal means to get justice for the victims and called for more synergy among all government agencies. The report.
Attack on traffic officers have become a negative trend that is now a major source of worry for traffic managers in the Oyo State capital, Ibadan. The leadership of the Oyo State Traffic Management Agency had deployed its personnel to strategic locations across the Ibadan metropolis, with reports saying dozens of vehicles and motorists were found wanting for contravening traffic rules after several hours of operation.
Within 3 hours of this operation, we have apprehended 27 Mikra, about 25 Maruas, and Okada. They are uncountable. As we speak now, collectively we've apprehended close to 70 offenders just within 2 traffic lights. So that goes to show that our people are not patient. They are not obeying our rules.
Officials of the State Traffic Agency had proceeded with their legitimate duty after receiving a distress call indicating that some alleged immigration officials had apprehended 2 of their colleagues. A visit by the leadership of the traffic agency to the Zone F office of the immigration led to an altercation where 2 traffic officials sustained serious injuries. Following the sad event, Governor Seyi Makinde led senior government officials to the residence of the 2 injured officials, where he promised to secure justice for them.
This shouldn't be happening at all. I mean, this is unacceptable. Whether you're immigration official, you work for other paramilitary agency, I mean, these individuals are just trying to enforce the law of the state.
The governor also visited the state office of the Nigeria Immigration Service in Agodi, where he met senior immigration officials in a closed-door meeting. He wants the service to unmask the mastermind of the heinous act.
Oyo State is known for inter- and intra-agency cooperation, and so the incident is quite unfortunate. What I've asked the state controller of immigration is for them to cooperate with us.
The Oyo authority says incidents like this could send a wrong signal to the public in a country desperately searching for peace and national cohesion.
The United Nations Children's Fund says a significant number of children in the northern part of Nigeria are facing the menace of multi-dimensional poverty. UNICEF stated this at a media dialogue in Gombe State. Trustee Adamu Imam in Bauchi reports that some of these children are seeking alternative means of livelihood as they have been left to cater for themselves. Let's take a look at the report.
According to the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, extreme poverty rate is expected to increase in 2024, with an estimated 84 million Nigerians living below the poverty line. At a media dialogue recently in Gombe, UNICEF noted that the rising number of children living in poverty in the northeastern region has become a source of concern. Some of the children speak on the challenges they face while searching for their daily bread. Sometimes we don't have food during sahur. That's why we resolve not to participate in the fast. On the days we have food, we hardly get enough that will satisfy us. We are appealing to the government to help us. Even if we are sick, our supervisor does not take care of us until we recover naturally, or if our parents come around. We don't have access to Western education because we are not favored to be enrolled. We usually visit this refuge site on the outskirts of the town, especially on Tuesdays and Thursdays, every week to scout for items to sell and buy food to eat. With this, we buy soap to wash our clothes and save some for transportation when we are going back home after holidays. Social and security expert Abdullah Yelwa urged stakeholders and the media create awareness on the danger created by multidimensional poverty.
About multidimensional poverty, we mean that people are attacked left, right, and center by issues related to poverty, which means that they will be lacking in access to proper education, they will be lacking in access to proper sanitation, they will be lacking in access to proper drinking water.
Yelwa noted that corruption and lack of parental care is an obstacle that needs urgent solution.
Those who need not to go there have brought their children and have hijacked the system of Tangier. Instead of assisting the absolute poor, now it has become the school of the privileged who doesn't need to take their children to that place simply because of the advantage of the quality or the standard of the feeding and this. So now using their political connection to expunge those who the system was meant for.
Abdullah Mohammed is an orange vendor within the metropolis. He said child poverty is prevalent among many communities and calls for government action. Sometimes when I see these children here picking up food from dump site, I feel really discomfort to the extent that I even try to send them away. But I end up allowing them to eat so that they can get some relief inside their stomachs. Honestly, starvation is imminent here. Government should intervene quickly, please. UNICEF called for strategic policy shift by governments at all levels to improve the lives of children bedeviled by poverty in Nigeria. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
Away from Nigeria, Togo's government says a planned 3-day protest this week over the arrest of opposition figures and new legislation scrapping presidential elections was illegal, a move that heightened tensions in the West African nation that has been ruled by the same family for almost 60 years. The Interior and Security Ministry said the protest set to begin on Thursday would seriously disturb public order. In a separate notice, the government also delayed parliamentary elections until April 29, pushing the vote back by just over a week. A spokesman for the opposition behind the planned protest said the coalition was considering whether to move forward with the rallies anyway. The government last week arrested 9 opposition activists for engaging in political activities at a market. All 9 were released on Tuesday evening. A statement from the Public Prosecutor's Office said they were arrested for disturbing public order. And with that, we've come to the end of the news update at this hour. But remember, you can always follow us across all of our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for my news, programs, and documentary. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Aisha Salihu. Join us again.